Welcome to 519 Connect, where the Windsor Police Service connects with members of our community. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Welcome to 519 Connect. And today we have a special episode. It's called the YIPI Effect Youth Initiative. What? Oh, I know.
Youth Policing Initiative student.
There we go. That's why you guys are some of the best co-op students out there. And today I'm here interviewing you. So welcome to 519 Connect. I'm one of your hosts, Constable Jamie Ajete Nelson, Diversity Officer for the Windsor Police Service. And to get started, introduce yourself, what school you go to, and, something fun about yourself, a hobby or something. Joe.
My name is Joseph. I go to Brennan, and I have a major interest in the culinary arts.
All right. We got a chef over here next to my left.
My name's Davina Sanjekli. I also go to Brennan. I'm going to grade 12, and I love to play basketball.
Baller alert!
My name is Ava Racine. I go to Herman. I'm going into grade 11, and I like to play soccer.
Oh, yip. So today is a special day. I'm excited. I'm here interviewing you so they can learn a little bit about you and what you're about. So since coming to the Windsor Police Service and, working with us, what's it been like? What's something fun that you've experienced?
So I think one of the best events so far has been Camp Rumble. And there we got to see how much officers truly care about our community and the youth that were there, the grade 6s who went to the camp. And it was really fun doing the daily activities with them and getting to know them personally as well.
Right. We are kind of fun.
Yeah. Also, I really liked Can-Am games. That was really fun. It was cool to see all the different officers kind of doing duty, but also off duty, playing sports and whatnot. And, one of our own officers in our office at Community Services, James Legatsby.
Woo!
He did baseball, and it was fun seeing him all pumped up and kind of getting third. But
hey,
it's all right.
He gave it his all.
He gave it his all. He did.
All right, Doctor.
Personally, I also agree with Ava here. I like the Can-Am games because we didn't do much. We just kind of sat in the cars and ran around town.
Yeah, but you know what? You all served an important part. Like for those games to run, or even Camp Rumble, there's a lot of stuff we did before. I remember you guys being in the office, and I might have been pulling some of the hair out. I had more hair, I promise. You saw the work that went behind it, and like you said, the officers. It's not always about the end result. It's all about that work behind the scenes, and then when you get there, we're just enjoying the experience like you did. That sitting down and doing nothing, that part is deserved because we worked hard before we got there. Yeah. All right, look at you, man. I've learned so much from you. You've learned so much from me. Oh, what else is out there for us to talk about? And just your experiences with police officers before you got here. What was some perceptions that you had?
Personally, there was only one interaction I've had with a police officer, and it was just when we got it was a car that backed up into our car, and then we went to report it, and that was about it. But I didn't have a good perception of police, and I never really was interested in them, to be honest. And then when I got into this program, I saw how every police officer, they have their own personalities, they have their own stories, and they're people just like us. And I've seen how much they truly care about the community and they want to make a difference. And it's been amazing so far being in this YIPI program. And
yeah, I completely agree with Davina. She hit all the points. Before coming into this job, I was all right with Windsor Police. I was like, okay, yeah, whatever, kind of whatever. But then as I'm actually with them, working with them, it's you get to see all the different sides of policing. You get to see what goes into it. You get to see all the reporting and everything and how much they really care about what they're doing and what they're doing for the community.
Yeah.
So I agree with what Davina said. One thing is working with in this program, you get to see different personalities, different characters, because my initial idea of police officers was they're all middle-aged men.
Not there yet.
They're all middle-aged men, and they all have the same character. They're all
Eating donuts.
eating.
That's what Joseph thought.
That's what I thought at first. They all eat donuts and just sit around. But no, it's really nice to see police officers. Obviously, there are multiple sides to policing, but one thing people don't see as much is police officers being a part of their community in a way where they're still in uniform, but they're serving the community in different aspects, not just arresting bad guys. Because in the media, it's perceived that way, but working with you guys, it shows that aspect of what policing is.
No, I agree. There's different sides to us, and I think policing's changed and it's growing and it needs to get better, and it gets better when I get to work with you guys every day. I come in every day and I look to learn from you like you're looking to learn from me, and I think that's a great aspect. I've used some terms that you've given me on a daily basis in different situations, so I appreciate you sometimes.
Sometimes. What is that? You appreciate us always.
All right. I see. I like that confidence. No, but it's been great. I think you came there and you're a great group of youth. So, the diversity barbecue, I put that in your hands and put tasks in you. And, it seems like you guys are running it and it's running well. So, the skills you guys are gaining, kudos to you. I think it's things that you've already had and now you're flourishing. All right. You're flourishing this summer. And when you go back, we'll to your teachers, they can thank me later. Okay. And I don't want donuts.
No.
I'm not a donut guy.
And also another thing I want to say
cinnamon where it's at
is now after this program, I want to be involved with policing, even not just as a career, but before I reach the age of being able to apply, I want to help the police be more involved with the community and my friends and, everyone I know. I think not enough people know what policing really is, and through this program, we saw so many different aspects, like the Marine unit, the training branch, everything they do here with the K9, with everything else, and I didn't really know that even existed in Windsor. And so through this program, we've got to find out all about that and get an inside look into all of that. And I want to help to provide opportunities like that beyond the YIPI program so that we can get more exposure throughout our community.
Yeah.
Oh man, you guys are trying to do my job. Recruiters, you guys are doing great out here.
Especially touching on what Davina was saying also, it's as we've been working in all these different units and seeing what goes on, all of the officers that we've been working with have been extremely eager to let us learn from them and see what they do. And it's nice because a lot of them are looking to change and better what they do also. And that's a big component of what I've seen also. Windsor Police Service, they're looking to evolve and change. And it's a really important aspect and something I admire.
Yeah, that's the goal. That is definitely the goal. And we talk about it all the time. I say, we have to be representative of our community, but it's all of you bringing that information. We are a service, and that information that you can bring to them says, no, they're not here to force you to do stuff. They're here to work for you, and here are the different avenues. And I think you being a part of that program, the YIPI program, Yip, you guys you're the next best people to do that. You are our future. I'm not going to be here in this position forever, but I look to having leaders like you and you going back and seeing those leaders. I think you might have some friends or family say, hey, you might be good in this position, and this is what you can do. Because like you said, you've learned some of the stuff we can do. Who knew we were event planners as well as
multifaceted.
Ooh, dang! That one, that's where it's at. No, that's great, and we appreciate you. We learn, like I always say, I'm the coolest one in the office. I try to say that, but you guys make me cooler. I listen to you, and sometimes I'm even writing down notes. I'm like, all right, this is the cool thing to say. So yeah.
All right, since you want to speak about yourself so much,
I
think it's time.
What?
Uno reverse thing.
Oh, there it is.
It's time for you to get interviewed, Mr. Interviewer.
Be in the hot seat.
Oh, hot seat.
Yeah.
All right. What is it you got for me today?
All right. Go ahead, Ava. You can
Okay,
start.
you know what? First, we want to have you tell us a summary of what led you to becoming a police officer. Just a brief little summary.
Brief. Me being brief, I don't know if I could do that. Me being a police officer. It was kind of like what you were talking about. I didn't know much about policing, so I went asking, and I wanted to realize. I realized what policing do. I had some friends who were police officers in Nova Scotia. They wanted to represent their community, and they told me what they did, and I said, "Wow, you guys are like teachers out in the community." And I had gone to the Faculty of Education, and I coached, and I wanted to educate athletes or people in my community, and I saw policing as a way to do that. So, I threw my hat in the ring and I applied. And, since I've got here, I've learned so much about legislation, our community, and, how to connect people. And now I'm in that position where I'm being that educator I always wanted to be. And it's in this uniform. So that's how I got to policing.
That was a really good answer.
Shoot.
All right. So since you have been a police officer,
Oh.
what is the most valuable lesson you've learned?
My most valuable, ooh, that one's deep. Everyone has a story. The criminal, the victim, the homeless person, they have a story, and it's not for me to judge that first part when I see them. I'm going to do my job. But whatever they're going through, sometimes I need to ask so I can get the totality of the situation to learn about that person. And that's where I learned in this job. It's the connections that you can provide for them after you interact with them, whether they're a victim or if you're arresting them. The job's not just done there. There's more behind the scenes, and you don't just judge them on that first look. And I think that's a valuable lesson that I learned. Don't judge a book by its cover. It's so cliche, but it is so true.
So,
doctor.
I have a very interesting question for you.
All right, I'm ready.
What's your opinion on yippies?
Yippies, whoa. You know what? When you first got there, I was like, what can I give them to leave me alone? I'm like,
Oh my God.
I was like, man, I don't know what to expect.
we
I
can
know.
feel that.
I was like, but then you got here and we talked first. I got to know a little bit about you. And like I said, I tried not to judge. I'm human, right? So I'm like, don't judge them. But it's been great. You all have different gifts. You all have different experiences. The life and you bring to the job, you show it in the work you do. And I think that's very important. And those skills and just even that effort that you put forth every day when you show up to the office, it's going to work very well for you in the long run. And I don't think Windsor Police brought that out of you. You had it, but we allowed you to use that and gain that experience. And I think that will follow you for the rest of your lives.
Yeah, for sure. It's
That made me
very
cry.
important. Yeah, it's very important for us to have amazing mentors like you to really bring that out.
Honestly.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
I'm a crier, eh? Let's chill with that.
Especially because you're such a well-rounded person. Like you have, like I said before when I said the multifaceted word, like you are truly like multifaceted. You do everything. And it's like, it's so admirable because it's like, how do you do all these things and then you're still here and you still are present with everyone and you talk with everyone and you're so happy and positive. It's really admirable.
Oh, you know what? It's a team. I learned that from someone and how those interactions are important. And I was raised like that through my mentors. So, if I have that opportunity to share that and know that you can still show up every day with a smile on your face, you can have your good days and bad days, but you can just sit back and be like, hey, what did I learn today? And that's the way to go.
Yeah, that's one thing I truly respect about you is the fact that even though you may be successful in some aspects, you still stay grounded and you still see yourself as any other person in the community. You don't put yourself on a pedestal in some ways, which I truly respect, and I thank you for that.
Oh, thanks, doctor. I call him doctor because one day he wrote something down and I couldn't read, and
You can't read his
and I
writing.
said, you're going to be a doctor one day, and he has the skills outside of the writing to do that. So I truly appreciate you all. You allowed me to use some of the skills in my life and that really teaching aspect. And it's easy to teach when you have people who listen, want to learn, and are still able to offer that critique to me to make me better. So it was a joint experience. I wish you all the best. It's not the last you see of me. You're not gonna, you guys, you're gonna see me around, and I really appreciate you guys. So look at you. You guys put me in the hot seat. I like it.
Okay, another interesting question. Sorry about that. Who's your favorite yippee between us three?
Oh, my favorite.
Took a big gulp before that.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna go to our recruiting
goodness.
presentation with Inspector Armstrong talking about how you can become a Windsor police officer.
You really sneaked out of that one.
That was really good, actually. Yeah. But talking about yippies, we had a question. It was like, what is your favorite part of your job? So was it just us? That's what it sounds like.
You know what? It was fun. I can't lie. I come in sometimes I come like, hey, you know me, I'm hyped up, and you guys give that energy, and we roll with it, right? Even on those days we're sitting in the office, there's always work being done, and you guys are great. You've taught me a lot. I'm gonna miss you a lot. My social media got way better since you guys got there. You taught me. I'm still a little bit slow on the TikTok, but I'm gonna get there. So it's the Yippies. I think it's an important program because, like you said, it exposed you to a lot of things behind policing. But at the same time, we're not getting younger, and you brought a lot of youthful ideas to the table. Policing changes because, a new young group comes in, things are happening. And like it's a social media age, right? We're so far behind, but having Yippie students in there, like you guys talk to me about, different platforms. I'm like, oh, I didn't know about that. I'm giving you a hard time about Google Docs every day, but I see the value in it. So I'm much better on that end to stay in depth with the youth.
All right. So, yeah, we're amazing. But before we came along, what was your favorite part of your job? What did you love most? And what kept you, when you wake up every day, you say, oh, this is why I keep going?
So I'll take it back to my being an athlete. I used to go to practice every day, and I always gave my 100%. And whatever it was on that day, I was very I was very good at saying, hey, I gave my 100%, whether, I got a personal best or I did my best or not. It's the values in that effort. So when I come to work every day's different. Our job's very dynamic. I take comfort in giving whatever I have that day, and I give my best. And some days it's better than the other. Some days it's not. But I'm able to come home every day and say, I gave my best today to my community because I'm all about service, and it goes a long way. So that keeps me going. Effort. I'm competitive, but I'm not competitive at work. I'm able to just know that effort is the most important thing to me in my job. And when I give that effort, my colleagues, they give it back. The smiles I give every day, I get them back. And that's what it is for me. It's the people in the job that keep me going. There's good people here doing good work for the community. And I've been able to be out in the community working with those people, so that's what keeps me going.
Yeah, and we see that too, like how you guys all have each other's backs, and you're more like a family.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in that community services office. You guys are all so close-knit, and like it's so weird because there's such a difference in personalities there, like, but they all work together so well.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. You're going to work with different personalities, and there's a lane for everyone, and there's a time, right? Some days some are louder than others, some days are quieter, but we feel it out, and we have the same goal. Where I'm going to say we're kind of like the face of policing in the community because we're out there, doing the outreach. So when you have a good group like that, you want to be able to work well together and get out there and be wild and have fun, but also, have that goal of serving the community. It's service. Oh man, look at y'all. I can't wait to see who's next on here.
Honestly, I'm excited for that. I won't lie.
Okay, last question though. All right, so Jamie, what does honor and service mean to you?
Honor and service is whatever you're doing when you leave to go home, or even when you're doing it, is it something that you can go out and tell everyone you've done? Are you proud of your work? Is your effort there? Did you try to help someone? And sometimes helping someone might be actually going out there and doing a service for them, or stopping someone from making another person a victim. So honor is that, as being prideful, that you can talk about the work you've done in any situation, no matter who you're dealing with. Are you able to feel the pride in your work and be able to speak to it? Because it's something that should be open to everyone. When you do it, you should be able to go home and say to your family, to your friends, whoever you look up to, this is the job I did today, and I'm proud of it. And that's honorable. So that's where honor in service is for me. Okay. No, that was great.
Okay. Thank you, Jamie, for joining us.
Oh,
Yeah.
And we'll hope to do this again in 2 years or so.
Yeah. No, we'll be back. This is not the last you're seeing of
Oh,
us.
yeah, obviously.
all right. I look forward to the future, and whatever you three bring to the table, wherever, you can count on Officer Jamie. I'm there.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
We
We
got the
appreciate
hookup.
you.
All right. All right.
Bringing in the next guy.
Oh, wrong one.
Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
And we're back again on the YIPI episode of 519Connect. I'm your host, Davina Sanjakli.
And Ava Racine.
And today we're here with Sergeant Andy Drulard and Constable Sean Patterson.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Yes, absolutely.
Really
Yes, thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Yes. What initially got you into policing?
Well, in my career, I'm one of those examples where I wasn't young thinking when I grow up I want to be a police officer. I went to the University of Windsor, had a communication studies degree and an interest in filmmaking. So I started my own company, and I was doing promotional videos, instructional videos, documentaries. So I really liked filmmaking. So I started doing work for the Windsor Police. And then I started meeting some police officers, and a friend of mine suggested it to me. He's like, have you ever considered being a police officer? Because I was starting to do work for them for video and clearing up audio and different things. And then the more I looked into it, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Maybe this would be a profession for me, because there's so many opportunities here to grow. It's not just one job, it's a career, right? So I kind of found that the filmmaking was just a hobby for me. And then I started exploring the profession of policing. And again, because you see all the different opportunities in the different units and the ability to grow and help the community at the same time. You look at it, it's like almost like a volunteering experience to get all these experience and helping so many people in their lives, in times of need. So, I was 29 when I got on, and then I just jumped right into it. So, and haven't looked back and haven't regretted one thing. I really love the job.
And how about you, Sean?
I've always been a people person, so being a police officer is just kind of in a natural kind of course. I've always liked officers. I've always liked what they stood for. When I originally was growing up, I thought I wanted to become a conservation officer. I'm a big outdoorsman. So I went to a school called Sir Stamford Fleming up in Lindsay, Ontario, and I took school of natural resources. So I took law enforcement there, natural resources, law enforcement, parks and forest, recreation, technology. It was a great time. Realized when I was there that, no, I really do want to be a police officer. And plus, conservation officers, I really wanted to not be working when I want to be out in the field. So it was a lot of fun. So like I said, that's why I changed over, and I put everything towards being the police officer. And once I graduated from school, I got numerous positions in different fields of security. Casino was the last one. And with that, I gained all my experience. And when I finally got hired on in my mid-30s, and originally was hired with Durham Regional Police up in the region of Durham. I worked out of YIPI, was there for approximately 4 years. And finally got back home here to Windsor in '09 and haven't looked back. So it's been a lot of fun. I enjoy it. And every day I look at myself and look at my patch and can't believe I'm living that dream.
Oh, that's really inspiring to hear. So as you guys have both been police officers for a really long time, what do you believe to be the most important requirements for this job?
That's a good question. Like, I remind a lot of people, don't forget the reason when you first applied, right? You come in here to help people in their times of need, and you come to have an impact in their life, to help them, to also help the community as a whole, right? And that's what I remind people a lot. You know, that's what did you come in here for? You came here to help people in the community. So in order to do that, though, yeah, we do talk a lot about mental health recently. And, you know, we talk to officers after we're at tough calls with one another, talk amongst your peers. You know, don't just take that yourself and just put it away, because, you know, sometimes it does come back to hit you, you know, because there's, you know, as much as we say, you know, all the fun and a lot of the stuff that you guys seen as the fun and interacting with the community, there's some tough calls we go to. Yes. So that can have a real impact on you. So it's important to share that with your peers and don't just bottle it in, because it might come back to you. Yeah. And you have to stay physically fit. Like, that was another point you mentioned. So we're big on that as well, because this job is physical, right? Sometimes people run from us. Sometimes people are violent, and those situations there, I mean, and although we're using, you know, our de-escalation and tactical communication skills, sometimes we have to take physical control of people. Sometimes we have to run, you know, and keeping fit is definitely really important. But yeah, it's definitely that mental health aspect, and not forgetting the reason why you came on, right? So after, you know, several years, 10 years, and you're moving to a different position, whatever the case might be, just don't forget the reason why you came on, to help the community, help people in need.
Yeah, I second that. Like I said, both mental and physical they're very equal. You need both of them. Without one, you can't be a productive officer. You have to have both mental strength and physical conditioning and strength. So I guess, as Sergeant Andy was saying, we have a good core group. We see calls. We do things that the average human being shouldn't be exposed to, but we know this going into the job. So that being said, the mental part of it is very, very, you got to have a strong mental capacity and mental mind. With that, there's still some fractures. People still have hard times with stuff that we experience every single day, because you don't know. Every call is a different call. That being said, you have your partners. We have chaplains. We have other avenues that be able to help out people, because we are just humans, just like everybody else. I put my pants on the same as everybody else does. So we just signed up for a very important job. That being said, too, physical. You have to be physically fit. It is very important to keep yourself and physically fit. It's just like a car. If you don't take care of the car, it's going to break down. Your body's the same way. If you don't take care of your body, it's going to let you down. So you always want to make sure. I'm 51 years old. I run. I do everything. I exercise. I want to make sure that I'm still physically fit. So it is. But those two things I find is super, super important. And like as Sergeant Andy was saying, we do this job to help people, and never to forget that. And that's the biggest thing, is because people come up to us to be able, when they need help in their darkest and worst times. So that's what we signed up for. And you always got to remember. So if you're not mentally ready and physically ready, you're not going to be able to help these people. So.
Yeah, you have to put forth your best version of you before you can help other people.
Absolutely,
yeah, exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
And you guys go into a lot of different situations. Every day is a new story, right? And what would you say is the most valuable lesson you've learned as a police officer?
I think one of the most valuable lessons I've learned is don't underestimate all these interactions that you have with people, because they have an impact on their lives. And, you know, although, like you were saying, we write like 4 or 5, 6 short stories every day of all these calls that we go to, but each one of those potentially have an impact on somebody's lives. So I try not to forget that when I go out there, you know, even if it's a minor call where I'm, you know, a kid doesn't want to go to school, and I was there and I, you know, coaxed him and, you know, de-escalated the situation at home and brought him to school, right down to a death in the family, you know, and being that a comforting person when they're dealing with the family's dealing with a tough time like that. Somebody that's struggling with mental health and drug addiction, maybe the interaction you have with them might have an impact, right? Right across the board, we deal, like you said, we deal with so many different calls every day, but each one potentially has an impact on that person. We're a community service here. Each time we go to a grade school, a high school, a community event, we might be that planting that seed of a future officer, So I tell our guys that too. It's like, we're always recruiting too, potentially. Like even with you guys, you see me, I'm like, have you thought of a career in policing? And you're like, oh, I guess not, but maybe I have, now that I've, there you go. Right. So, and I do that when I'm in the community, when I'm out, even out of my uniform, just personally, I'm like, you know what, have you ever thought of a career in policing? Cause like I said, I came from that background where it's like, it kind of opened my eyes, and it's like, there's so many different aspects to it where you're helping people and you get fulfillment, personally, as well as, helping people in the community. So, getting back to the question there, just don't want to underestimate those interactions that you have with the community, because they can have a big impact on their lives, and yourself. So, yeah. I
say the most importantly, I guess, is patience is what I've learned. Having patience, because when we're dealing with people, this is usually the worst time of their life, usually the darkest time of their life. They never call the police on when it's a good thing. It's always when there's something bad going on. So with that, I find that having patience in dealing with them, and even if they have to repeat themselves 50, 60 times, not to get like, oh, come on, let's go. No, more, just listen to them, because they are trying to still filter out what's going through, what they're experiencing. Everybody processes things differently. And so at that time, one person may be able to process it quickly, another one may take and have to repeat themselves 5, 6 times. And with that, you just got to be able to have some patience and show some compassion. So that's what I find is really important.
We just have one more question real quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who's your favorite yippee?
Yeah, who's your favorite yippee?
Oh.
What's your opinion on us?
As you remember, I was the cameraman there for when you guys introduced this one, and you caught Jamie off guard, but I really like Jamie's response, so I'm going to stick with that, because I even had another one too where I use this. It's like, I love them all equally.
Oh, that's what I was saying. Yeah, I'll be politically correct and say, yes, all of you guys are the best.
No,
but you guys are by far my favorite that we've had of students since I've been in this office. By far the best. Yeah, absolutely. And we had a blast at camp there, so that you guys rocked it out there. So thank you.
Yeah, you know what? I just want to add to people that are watching, just in regards to the YIPI program, the co-op program. We have a peace program that's also going to be taking place in the fall. We encourage you to get involved with us. There's so many opportunities, and I think you guys can attest that we don't just put you in jobs where, you're just doing this, that, or the other. You're actually having an impact. You guys helped us start up a TikTok account. You guys were helping us with our social media campaigns, drafting social media messages.
Engaging with community.
You were engaging with the community, and you had an inside look, I hope, at a lot of what you saw in policing here, which has, like I said, hopefully helped even more so planting that seed of maybe potentially being a police officer in yourself one day, but also like it builds other skill sets too, I think, right? Like when you were here, when you had some assignments with, Jamie and assisting with the diversity barbecue, when you were helping with the Can-Am games,
Camp
Romble as well. You guys were right in there helping us, right? And mentoring youth, you were right there too. So, and that it wasn't because of no reason. We saw that you guys were exceptional students, and, we trusted you with those responsibilities, and you guys ran with it, right? So, so again, really appreciated you guys joining us this year. Hope you learned a lot.
100%.
We definitely did, and we've been impacted in many positive ways, and we hope to stay involved with the Windsor Police even beyond this position, because we would love to volunteer again at Camp Romble, and we would love to stay involved and even get our friends to know more about policing, because a lot of the time is just the lack of knowledge around what police really do. Like, we only see you guys maybe arrest bad people, but there's so much more to it.
That is true. That is true. There is a lot more to policing than just what the the average person thinks of what they're seeing, what policing is about. There is so many different facets and things that go on in the background that we engage in the community with and help out in different organizations. So yeah, there's a lot to it. And I was the same as you when I first started. I figured policing was just traffic and that was it. And once you get into it, you see like, oh wow, there's a lot of different avenues and ways that you can go in the policing career. So it's great.
What does honor and service mean to you?
Yeah, what does honor and service mean to you?
Ooh.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. So when that was a new one that was brought in, we got Joseph over here going, "That's enough." See, you guys have taken a lot of leads there. No, but really quickly, what it means to me, honor and service is like it's an honor just to serve the community, right? So, like I said in the earlier comment there, you almost have to get volunteering experience to get the experience that we get as police officers, that they trust us with this uniform and this badge to go out there and help people in times of need. So it's just an honor just to serve the community in this capacity. So that's what it means to me, and everything that I do and every day, it's just an honor to serve.
Absolutely. It's the same thing. I get to be able to help out my community that I grew up in. So that to me is the biggest honor right there, is I'm actually giving back to the community that I live in. And so that there is very gratifying. Like I said, I'm a people person and I've always been that way and I always will be that way. So if I can help out, great. And this here, I get to do this job here to be able to help out people, especially in the roughest time. Sign me up for it.
And that's why you guys fit in so perfectly with the community service branch.
Yeah.
You deeply value this statement, which is honor and service. And you guys are very foundational officers within the community service branch. And we're very thankful to have met you. And thank you for allowing us to introduce you to all our viewers.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having us again.
Take care.
Of course.
The community service branch.
Yeah.
You deeply value this statement, which is honor and service. And you guys are very foundational officers within the community service branch. And we're very thankful to have met you. And thank you for allowing us to introduce you to all our viewers.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having us again.
Take care.
Right now we're here with Constable James Legaspi and Constable Ali Rubai, aka Prince Ali, and
Juice. OJ.
Yeah, that's me.
Officer Juice.
yeah. And let's get into the story about how he got that nickname.
Officer Juice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who gave him that nickname? I wonder.
Oh yeah, you started it.
Yeah.
I started and
Yeah.
I didn't know it would take off like this. So, because your name is Oscar James, so everybody calls you OJ. But nobody knew if your name was Oscar or James. So when we referred to you, I was like, who are you talking about, right? Everybody knew you was Legaspi. And then I heard OJ, and I said, nah, OJ is just too kind of, doesn't have the thrill, the excitement into it. So that's when I started calling you Juice, and I think other people started hearing me calling you Juice. And you became from Juice, and then, was it yesterday I introduced you as Officer Juice?
Yeah, Officer Juice now. I get Officer Juice now.
And people loved it, so.
Yeah, people do love it. Yeah.
You're a man of the people, you're Officer Juice. You're the people's juice.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's the story.
That is a story.
That
True
is a
story.
True story. All right. Well, first question we wanted to ask was what initially got you into policing? Like, what's a little backstory into Juice and Prince
Yeah,
Ali?
we know both of you. You both came from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
And for example,
Yeah.
Juice, he was in Alberta and Ali was in Toronto. So like, we want to hear how you guys ended up here.
I started after college. I got to mall security, and then I did Windsor Police Auxiliary. I applied to Windsor once, and a few other places didn't get in. So I was at 23 at the time, so I wanted to like start my life. So I ended up applying to Alberta, did the testing there, flew out for the interview, and then I got hired within a month later. So and then I took off to Edmonton, Alberta for basic training for 16 weeks. And then I graduated and I got posted in Fort McMurray, Alberta. Very cold, very remote. So I did that for about under 2 years, and then I wanted to come back home. So I applied back to the GTA, but Peel Regional Police wanted me really quick, so I applied there, flew back and forth to interviews, hired there, got hired at 2015. I got signed by Peel Regional Police, or started. Went to OPC, graduated, started on the road 2016, and then I left Peel Regional Police for OPP Elgin County in 2017. So I got another 2 years. And then I did that for 6, went to Chatham for 3, and then Windsor Police reached out to me. I think it was Inspector Farron and Neil McCracker. Yeah. So my name was brought up, and then I interviewed, and I got hired here, and I got hired here in 2019, and I've been here ever since.
Long journey.
Yeah.
Yes.
What about you, Abby?
Yeah, my experience was different because I started with Toronto Police, and in Toronto it's even a more multicultural city than here. So every walk of life, every color, religion, you can imagine, language, not only live there and you see and interact with, but I also worked with as well. So there's a big representation there, which is good because in Windsor we're having a big representation here of our community as well as we move forward. So I started in the hotel business. I was a valet driver for a hotel, and so I needed to work, and I loved the hotel business. I stayed in it, and I was there for a few years. And then I had an opportunity to work in Abu Dhabi at a hotel there in a management position. So I went over there. It wasn't my thing, so I was there for a year, and I realized I wasn't feeling it. Came back here, and I applied to, when I came back is when I applied. And at the time, Windsor wasn't hiring, so I applied to Toronto first. I had some friends from university that were there, my brother was there, and I was gonna apply to a bunch of other places, but Toronto replied to me quickly, so without second thoughts, I moved to Toronto, a big city, and I was there for 10 years.
What did you do besides patrol?
In Toronto?
Yeah.
I was a SACO officer over there, which is like a scene of crime officer. It's like one step below forensics. So we were like forensics on patrol. I did undercover work there. I did plainclothes investigations, kind of like our target base,
Okay.
what they did here with robberies and break and enters and stuff. I did community policing there too. It was nice to see both sides, so the investigative side and the community side. So, and when I came back, I was a neighborhood officer there. So I was embedded into one of the neighborhoods there in our division, and that's where I attended, and that's where I went to work every day in that neighborhood. It was a program that started fairly new before I left, and it's still going on there, which is a great program there. So, where you're the neighborhood officer that everybody knows and sees on a daily basis. You're able to resolve more issues, and at the end of the day, with the hopes of empowering the community to help itself, and at the same time reducing calls for service in that community, right, when you're resolving the issues. So there's a lot more that goes on into it with community mobilization and stuff, but I've tried for 3 years to come back here, but they weren't hiring. So I had a chance to work with CP Rail Police. So I also went to Alberta, to Calgary.
Oh yeah, because they have the basic training for them too, is right? That's right.
And their headquarters is there, which is like a campus, because it's an American style campus, beautiful there. So then I came back to Windsor working here, and then a few months later, Windsor had the first experienced officer program. This is in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's when I came in, the first 9 of us were hired here. So, but I came back for quality of life, so I wanted to be close to home.
Yeah.
You guys both have very, very well-rounded, big portfolios under your belts, for sure.
Yeah, it's nice to see how you guys both came back home, and you really are very important to your community now, and how we see how you guys want to give back and how much you care about your community. And another thing we want to ask about is we know you both come from diverse cultures and 2 different ethnicities that we're glad are being represented within Windsor Police. And we want to know what the Windsor Police are doing to get even more diversity within the police service.
Well, we are doing more outreach than before now. We have our current team of community services. I'm new there. Juice is new there. we all are there for the same purpose, the same drive, the same passion. We're all community-minded people, and so we're all on the same page together. We have a sergeant, staff sergeant, inspector, also the same mindset to go out there and do more outreach and more outreach. So the only way we can diversify people into at least policing, but ultimately all of first responders, fire and paramedics as well, is by doing the outreach to make the job appealing. How do we make the job appealing? For someone to say, hey, this is a good option for me. And if we have more of us that speak and look like the community that we police, then they could potentially see themselves in us. And hopefully, with the hope that that also is part of the appeal, to say, hey, there's people like you that work with us too, and we want you. So.
Mm-hmm.
And what would you guys say is the thing you love most about your job?
Probably the variety. It's never boring. You never have 2 days that are the same. And, you know, for me, that's what keeps it from feeling like a job for me. So when I tell people, you know, when I speak to the youth, I tell them that if you find what you love, then you never work a day in your life. And that, luckily, I'm lucky that I found this. I wasn't planning on it. Again, the universe led me down this path, and I haven't worked a day in 16 years.
I just came from patrol all the way down as patrol. So yeah, every day is different. Like even in every other unit, every day is different. Things you're investigating, people you're talking to, no calls are the same. There might be similarity, but every call is different. So I like that too. A variety of different things happen during my day and keeps it interesting.
Keeps you wanting to come back the next day.
Yeah, it's never boring, right? And that's one thing I like about this show. It's never boring. And there's definitely opportunities in this show too to change it up.
What is your, both of you, or your opinion on YIPI students?
And
Us
who's your favorite?
specifically, yeah. And who's your favorite?
I think it's great you guys came. I mean, I remember like the first time I met you guys, I saw like you guys and I was kind of like in shock. I'm like, who are these students? So no, you guys have been great this summer, and I've enjoyed your help and like getting to know you guys and, you know, and your aspirations, and you know, I'm gonna be missing you guys. I know probably for all of us are gonna miss you guys, you know, and helping us, making our day a little easier for sure. Like
Well,
especially with events and stuff.
I've been working with the YIPIs for many years because the YIPI program is also in Toronto. So we used to get the YIPIs, and I worked for community services there too. And you guys are go-getters where we may come in the morning and we're still groggy, we haven't had the caffeine in us yet, but you guys are ready to go. So you guys are pushing to do something, to do more. You're always asking to do more, and you want to do more, which is great because we may not think about some things for you guys to do, like you guys helping me with the safety village presentations, for example. I didn't even think about that, right? But I'm glad that you guys took the initiative. So yes, you guys have initiative, but just like everything in life, what you put in is what you get out. So you guys put in a lot of work, and you guys put in a lot of initiative, and you guys are curious. All these things are important in life, and you guys have that, which is good, because you guys, in this very quick span of few weeks, you guys have a chance to either seize the opportunity and get as much out of it as you can. Whatever you think we supplied you with, it's because you guys asked for it, you guys hungered for it and chased after it. It's not because us came after you to give it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, we still really appreciate everything every person in community services has done for us, genuinely.
Yeah.
I think it's the best branch to be in as a YIPI student, because you guys are always being pulled to do different things, and one day we were taking pictures with horses, and then the next we were out at the safety village with you working on presentations and helping you with the bikes and whatnot, and then it's a different thing every day, and that's what I like about it.
Well, you guys got to see, I guess maybe you guys got to see different parts of policing, and there's a lot more than meets the eye, right? A lot more going on in the background than what the public would see, so you guys got a good inside look at things. You know, even the presentation we did on domestic violence and human trafficking, you guys see a different perspective. That's a very heavy and deep topic, and you guys were witness to that.
Yeah.
So there was not much laughter going on that day. It's a very heavy, again, it's heavy stuff to deliver, right? But we have to do it. Those are the things, you know, we can laugh one day and cry the next day, but at the end of it, we process it all into one, and it's ups and downs. So in a way, you're indirectly doing marketing for us as well. So you're also part of the outreach, right? You guys spent the time here, and then you go back into communities, and how was your summer? Where most people in high school may have had a pretty bland summer, but where you guys had a much more different one.
And we're very glad to meet all of you, and we built very meaningful relationships with each one of you, and you have been amazing mentors, and thank you for that.
Honestly.
And we hope to stay mentors if you guys want us.
Yeah.
Of course.
We'll continue to be there.
Yeah.
We're always a phone call away.
And you're part of the family now, right? So.
Aw. James and Prince Ali. And here we are with Police Constable Andy Southers. We're excited to have you.
So I guess we want to start out with how you got here. So was it always your goal to be a police constable, or, you know, what were your dreams as a kid, and how did you end up here?
Yeah, it wasn't always my dream to become a police officer. I know a lot of people say that it is, like from when they were a little kid, they always wanted to be a police officer. That wasn't the case for me. I initially actually wanted to be an immigration lawyer, and I worked in an immigration law office, and I just wasn't passionate about it. And in university, I started just transitioning my focus to a career in policing, and I'm happy that I did.
And we're happy that you did too. We're so happy to meet you and
Oh.
now have a personal connection with you.
Yeah, me too. Awesome.
Yeah. So you were telling us before about your volleyball experience. What was that like?
Yeah, so I played sports growing up my whole life, all different sports, basketball, volleyball, soccer, track, cross country, everything, but mainly basketball and volleyball. And then I went to the University of Windsor for the start of my post-secondary education, and I got my degree there, and I played volleyball there as well. And then from there I went to St. Clair College, and that's where I really started deepening my connection with the community and getting more involved. And there I got my Police Foundations diploma, and I played for the volleyball team there as well. And I was a captain of my team and the class rep for my program, and I was volunteering in the community, and that really got me more excited about a career in policing. And from there I applied to be a special constable with Windsor, and I got hired. And there I started working in the detention unit, and the experience that I gained there was really invaluable to my position now. And from there I started working, and I was actually able to complete my commitments with volleyball and with school. And after I completed that, then I transitioned to the road and got hired as a police officer.
You're balancing a lot at once. How do you maintain that balance? Like, what is your kind of routine? Like, how do you still feel sane and at peace?
Yeah, it was hard. It was tough. It was a tough time for sure. It was the busiest time of my life. But it was all just perseverance and a lot of time management, and I really wanted to be in this position. I was really passionate about it, and I was going to do whatever it took to get there. And I also wanted to honor the commitments that I had made previously and complete that. So it was just determination really that pushed me, and I had a lot of fun doing it, so I was happy to.
My question is, as a woman in the police service, do you think that the community perceives you differently?
That's a good question, and I think it's really dependent on the situation. Every call is different, every
Yes.
person is different, but for the most part, I feel like my gender has actually been an asset to me, and I know that people may be a little bit more trusting
Yes.
of me, and I have qualities that some other people may not possess, like patience and, you know, communication and things like that, that can really kind of develop a rapport with people and develop trust. And I think that maybe they're more inclined to just be more open to me and to trust me a little bit more. So You never know. Like I said, everything's different, every person's different, but I think that it hasn't been a hindrance to my position whatsoever.
And would you say that there should be more women in the service?
For sure, absolutely. So we as police officers want to represent the
Yes.
community that we're serving, right? Which is largely women. And so we want to have that type of representation in the service as well. So I think that it's great for women to want to join, and we need more women, and it's a great place to be. And thankfully I've had so many really strong women that have paved the way for me, and that's why I'm here, and that's why I have these opportunities. So I'm grateful for the women that came before me as well.
That's amazing.
Now, Andy, you talked about your background with different sports, and we saw how you incorporated that with your job now with the community service branch with when you were at Camp Romble, and you were a very good leader in getting all the kids involved in the different sports. Now, I imagine you enjoyed that a lot, and what I want to ask you is, what do you love most about your job, and what keeps you waking up every day and you say, this is why I want to continue?
Yeah, that's a good question. I did enjoy it. That was a lot of fun. And I think that, you know, being an athlete growing up, it was a natural transition to becoming a police officer, because Windsor Police Service is the ultimate team, right? That's why we're all here. We're all teammates. And I think that's kind of what drives me, is the people around me and the community. I'm proud to be from Windsor, and I'm proud to serve the community. So that's really what drives me, and you know, that's what I'm passionate about, is trying to make a positive impact and make a difference in people's lives. And the moments that I think are, you know, the most memorable and that mean the most to me is when I can see that we really are making a change, a positive change in people's lives, or when, you know, I can maybe change someone's perception of what police officers are about and who they are, if it wasn't necessarily, you know, a positive perception before our interaction. So that's what really means the most to me.
Yeah, and we saw that firsthand when we were at the diversity barbecue. And that man came and talked to you about how much you guys mean a lot to him, and how he loves the police service here in Windsor compared to, he said he was from Syria, and how different it is, and how you guys are really here to serve the community.
Yeah, you know, I'm really grateful to be in Canada in general, right? We're so blessed to be here, and a lot of people are just suffering, and they're going through oppression and so many things that luckily we don't have to face. So, you know, we have to be grateful to be here, because there's so many people that come to Canada, there's so many new Canadians that haven't experienced the peace that we have, and you know, they're just so excited and grateful to be here. So I appreciate that, and again, those are the type of interactions that really put everything into perspective for me and really make me appreciative of the position that I have here.
On the topic of serving your community, what does honor and service mean to you?
Honor and service to me, I think, means just upholding the law in an ethical and unbiased way. And service really comes from a place of genuine concern for others. And I think it's just kind of carrying the knowledge with you that you're not only representing yourself and your family, but you're always a reflection of the service and the community that you serve in everything that you do, right? So that's what honor means to me in service.
Great answers, honestly.
Yeah.
So we're gonna lead to our last question. It's kind of more personal, I guess.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on YIPI students?
Ooh. I think you guys are great. You know, I think you're great. Yeah, it's been awesome having you guys. It's been awesome having you guys, and you've been such a tremendous help to us, really, and everything is behind the scenes, so you guys don't really get a lot of the credit that you deserve. So we're all really appreciative, and we're gonna miss you guys for sure.
We're gonna miss you all too.
Yeah, we're gonna miss you guys a lot, honestly. It was so cool being in the office and like seeing how you interact with everyone and they all interact with each other. It's like, it's a very safe and very comfortable space, and I can sense that.
It is, yeah. No, we're definitely a family, and that's what means a lot to me, and that's kind of another one of the reasons why I joined the police service is because it is a family and it's a team, like I said, and my dad was actually a police officer, and that's one of the things that drove me to become a police officer. He and my mom mean the world to me, and he always expressed such a love for the job, and I wanted to be just like him, and I still do. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm so happy to have met so many great people like you guys, and I hope that maybe we'll work together one day.
Possibly. I know me and Davina are thinking about it.
Yep.
Joseph over there.
I'm not sure about that because
Yeah.
it's not my field.
That's okay.
But it is an important job. With that said, thank you for being here today. Thank you for having us. So that is our segment with Constable Andy Southers. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. That was so much fun, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're back again on the 519Connect podcast with a special edition. Today we're at Brennan and we have our high school resources officers with us, Ron, Tracy, and Nigel. And today we just want to ask you guys about how you came to be police officers, and was this always your goal? Was it always your dream to become a police officer, and what led you to becoming a police officer?
Well, I had my start as an auxiliary. I was a part of the Windsor Police Auxiliary program here. I had no intention of being a police officer. I took business in school for about 5 years between university and college. So after working with the auxiliary, I just realized that working with people was the way to go. It was a lot of fun. Every day was something different, and I decided to apply.
I think I figured it out when I took law classes in high school. So once I took law classes, I kind of figured out that's the path that I wanted to take. I had a lot of my parents' friends were police officers, so I had a lot of stories from them and experiences. So I had an idea of what policing was like, and it was almost like a light bulb went off when I took law classes, and then I kind of knew that that's where I wanted to go.
Was law school ever an option for you?
Yeah, actually it was. I took criminology in university. I got my bachelor's and my master's, and that was an option, but I just felt like I did not want to be in an office setting, and I wanted to be just out and hands-on, I guess.
So I did auxiliary as well while I was going to school for engineering, and I did a co-op in engineering, and I was just like, I can't sit behind a desk. And I used to idolize a few police officers while I was I idolized a few police officers as I was in the auxiliary, so one thing led to another, and I decided to change my career path, and I went from engineering to policing. And I like to help people, so what better job than policing than to help people?
How has your policing journey led you to becoming a high school resource officer?
For me, it just kind of happened. I didn't see it in my future at all when I first started policing. I like kids. I like joking around with kids, and when the opportunity arose for me, it was kind of like the selling point was I can show students that not all police officers are squares, like Tracy. Yeah, so I thought I could have some fun with the kids and let them know that policing is a lot of fun, and police officers can joke around too, and I'm quite the jokester, so it worked out.
I actually had another officer bring me along into this unit, and he was the one that said, you know, this would be great, we would do really well in this field, and we'd be really great with kids, and I wasn't too sure, and then I think I was probably a week into it, and I was like, oh my god, this is the best job ever, and I was so super thankful that he kind of brought me into this field. So yeah, I was pretty happy.
And I think I was pretty similar to both of you. The opportunity has to exist, right? You have to have an opening in the position. You have to want to do it. You have to have the right mentality that it's different policing, and you have to shift gears. you're not enforcing as much, you're coaching, facilitating, being a part of the school, whether it's an after-school activity or just in the principal's office at 9 a.m. with a situation. So it's been a lot of fun so far.
That's a good answer.
Do you believe that being a high school resource officer consists of more educating people instead of like actual police work that you see out in the world?
Oh, 100%. 100%. It's like Ron said, it's more or less being there for the students and staff, making sure that they have a safe environment to work in, but more or less just making that connection with students and with the staff, and just sort of mentoring and being a good role model, and being there for them when they have these questions that maybe, you know, they're not comfortable maybe asking someone else. It might be a sensitive topic, and we've seen a lot, we've heard a lot, you're not really going to surprise us, right? So we're easy to talk to in that sense.
With the end goal of keeping them out of the system.
Yes.
So that's our success rate. If we can bring none of the kids into the criminal system throughout the school year and have inside resolution where all parties are satisfied and it fits whatever happened, I think that's the ultimate win. And everybody gets to go on and have successful careers or move on to the next grade. That's what we want.
And why don't you guys tell us about the schools that you're responsible for? I know each one of you has different schools that they're responsible for, so why don't you tell us, why don't you tell the viewers where they expect to see you and what activities you guys are involved in specifically?
Well, we're at Brennan right now, and that's one of my schools, so go Cardinals. It's great. Brennan's a ton of fun, and I'm not just saying that because you two are here. But I also have St. Joe's, which is out east.
I have Holy Names and Catholic Central, and I also go and visit St. Mike's as well, which is our adult education school. And I find that a lot of the students that are at St. Mike's are the parents of my students at Catholic Central, so they kind of marry up, and those are the schools that I have.
I have Assumption and La Jeunesse and Cadillac. So the two French schools, and I love it. They're good. They're all good kids. Both schools are great. All three schools are great. And we just, the roles are just helping facilitating the principals and vice principals with, like a liaison between the police and the schools.
What do you guys think are some misconceptions about high school resource officers, and what do people think about you that are not true?
I think they think we're here patrolling the halls. First thing is, what's happened, why you're here. I don't think they have a complete understanding of the program and what we're doing, and that we're not out to enforce things in the hallways. The teachers enforce things, we're just here to support them. And I think if that information got out, their guard might go down a little bit. They might be more open to walking up and starting conversation about some things. And I've noticed since I've gotten out to some of the sports after school, that's starting to open up a little bit more, so they're starting to see that.
Yeah, this is not our domain. This is the school board and principals and vice principals and teachers. This is their domain. We're just here as a visitor, right? Like, we're here to help them, to help the students. We're not running the show here by any means. We're just here to help out.
Like Tracy and Ron both said, we're just here. Like, the beginning of the year, the beginning of my job here, kids were a little reluctant. They see me, what's the police doing here? Now, I'm a jokester. I like to joke with all the kids. And now they come in, high fives, and they see that, not all police are just there to punish you. We're here to hang out with. You can talk to me about anything. And as was said earlier, we have experiences that not very many other people have, but can connect to certain kids, right? So a lot of kids are going through things and we can relate to these issues.
Really, we're here to make a connection with the kids, because down the road they might need us, and we want them to feel comfortable coming to the police if they need help. That's the most important thing. We don't want them to be afraid of us. We are people too. I have kids, and they're high school age. Like, I know the issues that are going on in schools, so we're here to help them out.
Another important part of the program is delivering presentations. Can you talk about that a bit?
Yeah, well, we provide several presentations. It depends on what the school wants. Typically, we will give our presentations to grade 9s because they're fresh into high school, what to expect. We talk about drugs and alcohol. We talk about relationships, human trafficking, bullying, all of typically the hot topics that need to be spoken about when you're entering the school system and what you're gonna, what you might run into at school and how to deal with it, more importantly. We also have a Unite presentation that we've started to give or regarding racism. So a lot of really relevant topics that we feel that the kids should have, and these are presentations that the school board approves of as well.
Thank you for tuning in to our podcast here, and thank you to the Windsor Police for having us as yippies this summer. I just like to thank all the officers we've worked with, all the officers we interviewed. We got to interact with the most. So, and I thank you guys for the experience that you gave us, you provided for us.
Thank you guys for being here and letting us interview you. And I've been very thankful to meet all of you and have personal connections with you now. Oh wait, we forgot to ask. We asked everyone, who's your favorite youth? Oh! You guys had to answer that question.
Ava.
She's not
I tell her you.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, you won, Ava.
That's fun.